Hello, and welcome to the Student Support Services Program's Workshop Series. The following is an educational recording produced by tutors from the Student Support Services Program at the City College of New York under the supervision of sound engineer, recording engineer, mixing engineer, mastering engineer, producer, arranger, composer, Linwood Fitts. This recording accompanies a PowerPoint presentation by the same name. Please do not post or share these files, which remain the intellectual property of the Student Support Services Program. To begin, open the PowerPoint presentation, and whenever you hear a turn to the next slide.
Welcome to the SSSP Workshop Series. My name is Mariya, and today we will explore the test-taking strategies. Do you consider yourself a poor test taker? Let's figure out what prevents you from doing the best you can and earning top grades on your exams. In this workshop, we will concentrate on developing effective studying and test-taking strategies, improving time management skills, and managing test anxiety. Here are the few most common reasons for poor test performance: not studying regularly, cramming for tests and assignments, using poor learning strategies, wasting time when studying, having trouble organizing, and test anxiety. Does it sound like you? Let's explore each of these points one by one. Studying and mental processing strategies. Some students admit that they don't really know what it means to study. At the end of the semester, many students begin cramming for the exams, and because everyone seems to be doing it, many freshmen assume cramming is the best way to make good grades and memorize the material. Some believe that studying at the last minute works because you have less time to forget. The truth is, cramming is the worst possible strategy. It does not improve your understanding of the subject or help you memorize the material. Cramming is not learning. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, what do you think is learning and how you learn the best? To answer the question, studying is a mental processing, a learning by organizing the information in a variety of ways, by thinking deeply about the material, and by using strategies for memorization. Here are a few specific methods that can help you better retain the material and ultimately get better grades on your tests. Start with input from reading or from taking notes in lectures. Taking notes is a very important part of the learning process. Take all your notes by hand. Do not type. It is proven that written down information by hand is a very effective path to memorization. If time allows, find video animation about the material you are studying. Some students learn better by watching instructional videos. Select and use one or more ways of organizing information. It is not enough to just read the textbook. True learning begins when you organize information in the form of outlines, summaries, diagrams, charts, maps, and flashcards. Include regular self-testing and do as many practice problems as you can. Self-testing is an essential part of learning. Be honest with yourself when working on practice problems and questions. If you are having difficulties, return to your notes or textbook. Practice distributed studying. Students tend to procrastinate when facing overwhelming workload. Breaking it down into small portions helps you get started. In addition, it is more beneficial to study a little bit every day as opposed to complete all the work at once. Distributed study promotes better long-term retention. Try studying for 45-minute blocks followed by short breaks. Teach the material to your classmate. If you can explain the material, then you can be sure that you know it. Organize a study group and take turns explaining material to each other. Group learning is very effective, especially if you can establish friendly, judgment-free atmosphere where everyone can participate and ask questions. Next, we will talk about the importance of perfecting your time management skills. Don't underestimate the power of effective time management. Some of the strategies include establishing a weekly schedule. In particular, scheduling your fixed time commitments such as class, lab work, and meetings. Scheduling study times which relate to your personal study habits, such as short increments, morning, daytime, or nighttime. Don't forget to allow time for fun, exercise, and other tasks. And finally, be honest with yourself. Don't schedule early morning study time if you're going to sleep in. Next, prioritizing, setting goals and deadlines is also very important. We suggest to set daily, weekly, and monthly goals. If you accomplish them, reward yourself. Make a list of things to do daily and weekly in order of importance. Write when will you do each thing on your list. Schedule specifically. Don't just write down word study. Specify which subject and exact chapters or pages you plan to do. Set deadlines, but allow yourself enough time to complete each assignment. Finally, here are the tips for planning ahead and avoiding procrastination. Keep a monthly calendar so you can see far in advance where big tests or projects are coming up. We usually procrastinate when we find a job too large or overwhelming. So make the task smaller by breaking it down into smaller parts. Visualize yourself doing each task. Think of the satisfaction you will get knowing that you are done. If you must put off a task, schedule a new time immediately. Next, we will talk about specific test-taking strategies. First, have a plan when you're preparing to take your test. Decide if you want to answer easy or hard questions first. Decide how long you should spend on each question. You can bring a watch. It is also comforting to know what to expect and might spare you some unnecessary anxiety. It is also very helpful to work through all the exam and tests by the same professor. Know the structure of the test and the number and type of questions in advance. Third, when you first receive your test, do a quick survey of the entire test so that you know how to efficiently budget your time. If you don't know the answer, mark and skip it. Go on with the rest of the test and come back to those questions later. Other parts of the test may have some information that will help you answer the questions you skipped. Here are a few strategies for tests with multiple choice answers. First, read questions carefully and underline keywords and statements. Second, try to eliminate as many wrong answers as possible. Third, try to answer the questions before looking at the answer, then read all answers before selecting one. 4. Often two answers are similar, but only one is correct. 5. Beware of questions with no, not, none, never, and always. These words easily change the meaning of questions. 6. In all of the above and none of the above choices, if you are certain one of the statements is true, don't choose none of the above. If one of the statements are false, don't choose all of the above. Finally, don't be afraid to change your answers. If time allows, return to difficult questions and try to reason through them again. Now let's talk about strategies for essay answers. First, read all of the questions to make sure you understand what is being asked. Second, allow some time for brainstorming and write down your ideas. Third, make a simple, short outline to help you stay on track. 4. Write neatly and leave some space for added ideas or corrections. 5. Proofread your work before turning it in. Here are a few questions you might ask yourself when writing an essay answer. Do you really understand what the question asked me to do? Have I done any planning of my major points? Proofreading the first couple of sentences of my answer, does the reader know both what the question is and how I will develop my answer? Do the major points stand out? Are the major points supported with examples and facts? Are there clear transitions between the major points? Would someone who has not taken this class be able to understand the concept discussed in the way I explained it? Have I completely covered all major points needed to answer the question? Did I stick to the question? Have I concluded with a summary statement? Did I proofread for misspelled words, sentence fragments, run-on sentences, comma splices, subject-verb agreement errors, and other errors that might prevent the reader from understanding what I have written? Finally, is my handwriting readable? and haven't left enough space for comments or additions. Anxiety about test taking is quite normal among students. In fact, almost 90% of students report being anxious before the test, while approximately 20% suffer significant anxiety which seriously undermines their performance. Reducing the stress isn't always easy, but employing some time-honored techniques for preparation and test day can help overcome your fear and do your best. Test anxiety is often caused by the following: fear of failure, which can be devastating to students who tie the self-worth to the outcome of the test; lack of preparation, and waiting until the last minute or not studying at all can leave students feeling anxious and overwhelmed. Poor test-taking history can lead to negative mindset and influence performance on future tests. What can you do to reduce the test anxiety? First of all, don't underestimate the power of attitude. Your frame of mind concerning an exam can have an effect on how well you do in the exam. For instance, if you're thinking self-defeating thoughts, "I can't do this," or something like that, this will likely impair your performance and lead to even more anxious feelings. If you feel yourself becoming panicky during the exam, take a slow, deep breath. If you begin to have negative thoughts about your ability to handle the exam, stop. Replace negative statements with positive ones. Instead of, "I don't know any of this," tell yourself, "I am prepared to do my best on this exam." Remember that a test is only that, one test. Try not to overemphasize the importance of the grade. Your self-worth is not based upon a letter grade. Do yourself a favor and arrive at the test location early. This will give you a chance to pick a seat location away from distractions. It is important to avoid caffeine, sugar, and nicotine before the exam. These stimulants may trigger rapid fluctuation of sugar levels, which in turn produce symptoms of anxiety and panic. We hope that adopting effective time management, studying, and test-taking strategies will help you prepare and feel confident on your test day. In addition, please see the handouts for essay questions and self-analysis checklist. Thank you and good luck.
This concludes the presentation. Thank you for listening, and we wish you all success in your studies.